What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're following up on our ACL series. This is going to be video number 2. This is going to be for people who are a little farther out from their injury or from surgery. So this is going to cover weeks 3 and 4. We're going to look at some new movements that are typically introduced during this time period. So again, if you just had an ACL surgery or injury, go back to the first video. I'll put the link down in the description. If you're a little bit farther out into your 3rd week, 4th week, after that injury, then you'll want to stay tuned for today's exercises. In the first video, we talked about how important mobility is early on after ACL injuries, especially extension or the ability to straighten your knee. So you want to keep working on this and just maintain it. By the time you get out to weeks 3 and 4, you should have full extension, but just make sure you don't lose that, okay? And then, so we've got extension, and then the last video we also talked about flexion. Flexion or knee bending is going to slowly get better as you heal. You'll be able to bend more and more as you go along. In that first 2-week period, we're looking at getting up to around 100 or 110 degrees. Now in weeks 3 and 4, we're going to be looking to bend the knee up closer to 120 degrees. So remember, 90 is kind of this right angle. So 120 degrees is going to be a little ways past that. Just for reference, the knee goes up to about 145, 150 degrees. That will be full knee flexion. So that's our goal at the end of this rehabilitation process. But in these weeks right here, you're going to be shooting for around 120. So one of your exercises, again, will be going all the way out straight and then going through a heel slide and just moving as far as your knee will allow. Don't grab it and pull on it. Just go as far as it will allow, and this mobility will slowly increase over time. Okay, and then we also last time introduced the straight leg raise. You want to keep with this one again. This is the one where you're going to squeeze your quad, push your knee down straight. So we did that quad set in the last video. You're going to do that. And then make sure you can keep your knee locked out, and you're going to be doing straight leg raises like this. You can bend the other knee if it's more comfortable. You're just going up and down like that. But again, this is the one where it's really important to keep your knee locked out by using your quads the whole time. If you notice when you go to lift that your knee wants to bend, then you need to just keep working on squeezing your quad and doing this quadriceps isometric contraction. But if you can do that and it's getting pretty easy and you can keep your knee locked out, then you'll start going through straight leg raises like this, shooting for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Okay, so those I covered quite a bit in the last video, but basically you've got your knee extension and flexion mobility, your quad set, and the straight leg raise. So continue with those in weeks 3 and 4, and now I'll show you a couple of new ones. Before we look at the next 2 exercises, one other thing to know is that usually in this week 3, week 4 period is when you are allowed to start doing stationary biking. And so that's a great thing to add in, just slowly build up over time. Usually we start with no resistance and just kind of add resistance slowly. And you might start with 5 minutes and work your way up to 20 minutes. Stationary biking is a great way to build quad strength and endurance while keeping the knee in sort of a protected state. The key is at the bottom of the pedal stroke, if you do decide to try that activity, to make sure there's a slight bend in your knee at the bottom of that. So that's something else you can start. If you have access to a stationary bike, that's something you can try. So otherwise, we've got 2 exercises that are going to start, so 2 new ones these weeks. The first one is a partial range squat with an isometric pause at the bottom. So basically what you're going to do is just an air squat. You're going to stand, have a little bit of space, kind of squat down, kind of a half range of motion, not all the way down to where your femurs are parallel, just kind of a partial, and then you're going to hold for 5 seconds and then come back up. So pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to really think about having your weight equal between your surgical side or your injured side and the other side. Really try to keep that weight equal between the 2 legs. Go down, pause for about 5 seconds, and then come back up. And you can look at doing, 1 or 2 sets of 10 repetitions like that, and maybe doing that a few times throughout the day. Again, with a major focus on strengthening your quads. Okay, so that's one of the new ones, a partial range squat with an isometric pause in the bottom position. All right, so here's our last exercise. This is another one that's pretty straightforward, especially if you're someone who has some experience exercising. But again, we're only in weeks 3 and 4. The injury was really recent, surgery was recent, so you can't be stressing your knee too much. So for this one, we're gonna look at building calf strength. The calf muscles do help support the knee joint. So We're just gonna start with a basic double leg calf raise. Again, like the squat, you're gonna think about trying to have your weight equal between your two legs. So find a wall or a countertop or something to hold on to. You're gonna think about doing a calf raise where you push all the way up over the ball of your big toe and then down slowly. Again, the real emphasis here, since you have one injured leg, is to try and have equal weight on each leg. Try not to put more of your weight on the uninjured side. Just try to make sure that weight is equal between your two legs. And then for this, since it's double leg, you're gonna go for 3 sets, probably a little higher repetition range. For the calf muscles, our ultimate goal is to stand on one leg and do 25 calf raises. So right now, double leg, since this is a new exercise, you might shoot for 3 sets of 15 to 20 slow repetitions like this. Okay, so those are our exercises for weeks 3 and 4. We're gonna continue the ones from the first video, the knee flexion extension mobility, the quad set, the straight leg raise, and then in weeks 3 and 4, we can add the stationary bike, a partial range squat, and the calf raise. So give those a try. Let me know if you have any questions. The next video will be the more advanced stuff, kind of getting back to the gym and getting to the end of full range mobility and just other exercises you can do. So stay tuned for that one. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.